Hello, welcome back to this video. In this video I'm going to talk about trading the crude oil futures. I'm going to give you some helpful tips and advice on trading this market effectively. I'm going to actually show you, give you like a little sneak peek at one of our new methodologies that we've been developing. And so you'll kind of see that at work here. One of the real nice things about crude and the base future symbol is CL that you probably see here on the chart. And I'm using 89 tick. Now this doesn't have to be the only time frame that you trade off of. You can certainly use time interval. I prefer, number one, for day trading to always use tick bars, and other types of bars that I'm willing to use or time frames are volume or share bars. Not a huge supporter of using time intervals when you day trade. And what I mean by time intervals are 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute. I believe, and this is with a lot of experience, that tick or volume and share bars are your best bet when it comes to day trading. When you're swing trading, it's a different story. So that's kind of little tip number one. You can see here when we start trading crude oil futures, the 9 o'clock start time is the exchange time. That's New York time. So anytime after 9 o'clock, I would not start before then. And really, what I consider kind of the morning session is about 9 o'clock New York time to about 11:30 New York time. That's more than enough time to get off a number of trades if you need to. And most sessions we can be done fairly quickly due to the activity in this market. You can actually see these little plus signs here. That's where we go short. These dotted lines are our profit projections when we do enter a trade and we have a setup, so that trade worked out pretty nicely. So another tip that I want to give you is this. What I have found over a long time of trading this market is the numbers that end in 00, 25, meaning 64.25, 0.5, 64.50, 64.75, and of course 65. So 00, 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, and again back to 00. If you have any kind of trade setup that is right on top of one of those levels, push it around that number. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. We had this potential long setup here at 64.72. The first thing I think about is 64.75 because I know that this market does interesting things, and a lot of times if it's going to change direction, many times those are the numbers that it changes direction. I can't tell you how many times that I've made that adjustment to, like, let's say 64.76 or 77 and been happy because this is what happens. See how it reversed at 64.74? I'm not even surprised that I go down a little bit and look at 64.50 here and see the market bounce back up. Now, it doesn't mean that the 25s, 50s, and 75s won't ultimately fall. They can fall in a split second. It's not a guarantee that those levels hold. But anytime I have an entry that's going to be right around one of those levels within a few pennies, I always adjust it through. What I mean by that, if I would have had a short setup, which I don't here, but let's say I did at 64.52, I would absolutely adjust that short down to 64.48 to make sure that I'm not going to get short until 64.50 falls. I only do that when it's close. If the setup is 10 cents away, I'm not going to worry about it. But in the case where I'm 1, 2, 3 cents away like this, absolutely, I'm going to go ahead and make that adjustment. So that is definitely another takeaway from this. Just again, over experience of trading this market a long time. Here's another nice short where we went short at 64.42 and hit a good target here. That's worth about $200. If you're not familiar with crude, it's 10 per penny. It's $10. And then we came back with even another long here, as you can see, that ended up hitting target again. This market has been trading quite nicely in really recent weeks, call it months. This week is no exception. I mean, we had today, when I counted up the first series of trades, I believe it was like 9 winning trades with 2 that were losing trades. So I'm seeing on a regular basis that 75% or better. And you can kind of see the movement here. We have what we call a re-entry trade that happened right in here and also ended up going to target. And potential short trade here, which was interesting at 64.95. Another thing we teach you is the price points that end in 5. We do a little adjustment, and we actually made that 64.93 on our entry. And we got pretty lucky because it hit 64.94 4 different times and never triggered us in. So that was a fortunate time, but that's why we have the adjustments where we have. So in the days ahead, I'm going to talk more about key levels and give you more advice on that. One other thing I wanted to show you was every Wednesday, if you're going to think about crude oil trading, Wednesday at 10:30 is a pretty significant report, and you have to be aware of this report. It happens at 10:30. And I literally will want to stand aside 5 minutes before, and I want to go 5 minutes after and not take a trade. One, you can see why when the news came out, how crazy the reaction can be. And a lot of times these reactions happen a few minutes before, is why I say 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after. It's just the time to step aside. So I've kind of blocked off all this. Literally, there's a lot of bars. All this happened in just a few minutes. It gets that active. One, it's very difficult to trade when the market's moving that quickly. And once that's over, the 5 minutes are over, I can take the next setups and off to the races with the trades. And actually after, at 10:35 and after, turns out to be a very good time to trade. Another little one to look for, that's every Wednesday unless there's a holiday. Check economic calendars for that. Most of the time on a Thursday at the same time is the natural gas inventory. That also moves the market, not as crazy as the crude inventories on Wednesday, but I also am very careful around 10:30 on Thursdays as well when the natural gas comes out. It'll usually spike one way or the other, much smaller, but enough sometimes that it can shake you into or out of a trade. So keep that in mind too. So the big takeaways: time of day when you should trade it, key levels that I told you about, and watch certain news reports, that being one. Again, take a look at crude oil futures. I hope you enjoyed the video.